I'd like to go over why I decided to do this now. As it is a Sunday, and not every Sunday am I able to do a live. Usually 6 days a week at minimum I'll do a live. I try to do 7 days a week, but I never know what's going to happen at nighttime. So I found this a very opportune moment for me to come on live, discuss this with the audience and with the community. And if we have a lot of back and forth, I'll do this as an extended live. If there's not a lot of back and forth during the live itself, I'll just do this as a normal update. And then this will go out to everybody when it releases on rerun. So the reason I decided to come on, as we can see, XRP is down 4.8% right now, below a very critical support structure that we've talked about. And this can open up the door to a better than 28% drop. But at least a rejection here would open up the door to at least the drop to sub 50 cents. But it could be all the way down to 42 cents. So we have to stay in front of this and see exactly what's going on here. As many of you who were in here yesterday or even this morning, we talked about Ethereum, that quick push we had, and then the sell-off. And I talked very clearly about the fact I sold it at 2,930 on that leverage trade. Anybody who's copy trading benefited greatly yesterday, as we made about $108 through the copy trade. We're up 126% right now through the copy trading, which I reinitiated yesterday after I got some clarity from the customer service on which liquidity pools were stronger. So I felt comfortable doing it through Ethereum. And I also talked about how I sold off and it wasn't worth holding because I thought it was coming down to 2,800, and that could be another area to look. And here we are down 2.5%, or another 73 bucks at 2,828. So we'll definitely look at Ethereum. We'll look at Bitcoin as well, down 2.87%, or 1,741 points to 58,956. I don't expect a lot of back and forth here during this live because it's at a weird time. I was just going to do an update, and I decided to just do this live so that I could at least do a live for Sunday, and we'll see how long we go. I have every anticipation of being here for 45 minutes or an hour, but if it's just me talking, I'll do this in about a 20 to 25 minute fashion. So please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this live, and especially pushes this out when the rerun is available to everybody. By hitting that like button, my content pops up in the YouTube news feed, and it makes it very advantageous for some, maybe who haven't even seen my content in the past, to be able to click on my content and go forward from there. So please make sure to hit that like button. And we will go through the intro, but we also need to talk about what we need to read. We'll talk about how the XRP price reaches a now or never moment, Bollinger Band signal. It's either going to be a big drop or it's going to be a massive breakout, as the Bollinger Band width is tighter than it's been since 2017 area, 2016-17. So that's pretty amazing to see. And then we'll look at the US spot Bitcoin ETF as the outflows have hit the biggest single day outflows in 90 days. So that's pretty interesting. The Gatmen, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Free fallen indeed. Kryptonian, hell yeah, bust out the chips and get that dip. Yes, sir, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. And everybody will notice, when the days are rising, you get a big demographic shift that will end up coming in and watching XRP. When the market is down, pretty much everybody ignores it, even though it's the greatest opportunity and gift of opportunity. But we go through this every time. So make sure to hit that like button. I will catch you on the other side of the intro. Good early afternoon, 12:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, August 4th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I like someone who said that. The Gatman. I like that line of thinking with the emergency rate cuts. If the stock market continues to implode, they will have no choice but to cut rates prematurely. They're trying to wait until September and save face, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. They might have to do it a lot sooner. As the stock market, if it starts to implode here before the election, you'll absolutely see a rate cut to stop that in its tracks. For everybody who's tuning in right now, I greatly appreciate it. Please make sure to hit that share button as well so we can try to get more people into here, or at least make them aware that we are live on this early Saturday afternoon. I know it's not pushing out the notifications because I did not receive one on my phone. So that's discouraging but encouraging at the same time, because now we'll have a smaller audience and we'll be able to have a more active discussion, if any. And if we don't, I'll just end this when I get done. So right now, XRP is down 5.13%, sitting at 52.7 cents. The critical moment here right now, Jeremy, welcome in from Detroit, just about 25-30 minutes south of me. Excellent. Brad, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I greatly appreciate that, and that is my face superimposed on there. Mark James, welcome in. I'm glad to see you made it in. The Gatman, yes, I tried to be very transparent with everybody about buying Corium in this last cycle, and I said I am ignoring it, and it is indeed getting absolutely slaughtered. Absolutely slaughtered. We had a moment where we went from last year into this year from about 6-7 cents up to about 14, but after maybe even a little bit higher as well, closer to 20. But then it just absolutely imploded. But what we're seeing with XRP right now, and this is the urgency, and this is why, even though it's a Sunday, I decided to do a live today, and I did it earlier than usual because I don't know what's going on tonight. I probably wouldn't be able to come back tonight, but if I can, I'll be back on tonight, so who knows. But I wanted to at least show everybody. The biggest problem right now is we are in fact below that 53.89 cents. Remember, that was our make it or break it area. If we did not hold that, the topping it could pull off this topping reversal, and the Batman top could complete, and we could have a subsequent drop down to about 40.8 cents. That is me being as real as I can. So the subsequent danger here is the fact that XRP, and initially I said XRP could fall sub 50 cents or possibly up to a 24% drop on top of it. I decided to take the 24% out of it and just say XRP is one rejection away from coming or falling below 50 cents. And then I just simply put XRP hits make it or break it moment. And the reason it is a make it and break it moment is if we can't get over and we get rejected at 53.8, this is telling us that we will more than likely, we would have to come back down and retest 50 or 48 cents. And if that area broke, you're coming down to 40.8 cents, maybe 42 because there's something in between here. But you do have 48 and 50 cents. Remember that. That can hold us up. But if we break those areas, you're talking 42.9 cents is the early indicator. And this becomes more danger and more reason to pay attention when XRP doesn't sit above. First of all, that rising channel at 60.85 is brutal to be below. Then you got the downtrending resistance, which is the cup and handle resistance at 64.3. Just so you can see what's going on here. And then there's also a falling channel that's formed that could bring us all the way to 34.6. So if this does reverse, and if we look at it in the weekly, I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's a reversal candle right now. Especially, look at where we're at right now, 53. If this starts coming down to like 50 by the end of the day, I mean, the farther this comes down, the worse it looks. The worse it looks. And now it looks like it's a very poor candle here to end the week. I mean, remember, the daily or the weekly candle closes in just under about 7 hours and 7 minutes from now. And with XRP sitting the lowest it's been in the entire week, it doesn't look great. Now, one thing I can tell you is you got to pay attention to the optics. Right now, the weekly is far from being back in neutral and back into the oversold, but the daily for XRP pushing up. 4 hourly is eked its way back into a pretty oversold area. Not tremendously oversold. 3 hourly oversold, 2 hourly oversold. Hourly's massively oversold. But now if we look at it in comparison to Ethereum, it looks oversold. But now this is more what I'm trying to wait for XRP as well. So Ethereum right now, you can see how oversold it is in some of the smaller time frames. But now let's move into the daily. Oversold. Weekly is in the neutral area. So if you're going to have a break, you know, I targeted 2,800. We didn't quite hit 2,800 yet, but we're really close here. Now, the problem we have with Ethereum, just like we talked about this morning, like XRP, being below 2,908 with the rejection, like we got this morning, leads you down to about 2,800. And that's if you watch the morning update, that's exactly what I said. If Bitcoin or Ethereum gets rejected at 2,908 here, we're coming down to 2,800. It was very easy to navigate. We even took out a leverage trade. If you're interested in copy trading, look in the video description below and our pinned comments. I copy trade through HOTCOIN. I did take a hiatus for a couple weeks. I suspended it. It was still open for people to follow or keep their money in, but I suspended it until further notice because there was a liquidity issue with certain tokens. So I talked to customer service. It took a couple weeks to become satisfied, but I found out with them when they sent me the liquidity pools, Ethereum and Bitcoin are very advantageous for lower liquidation levels and more closely resembling the actual price when you buy. So that's why I decided to take a leverage trade. And if you're part of it, not many maintained. But if you are part of it, you can join in the video description below and our pinned comments. We are, where are we at right now in the copy trading? We are plus $123.78. As many of you know, I started a $100 challenge. Yesterday we made $108. I used more than $100 to make that trade. But we're up $123.78. Notice, only 5 people remain out of the 44 total people that have followed because I had to suspend it indefinitely until I figured out the exchange a little bit deeper and figured out liquidity pools. So now, you know, a lot of people missed that trade yesterday, and we're up $123 on our $100 challenge, which if you do the math, we're up 123.78%. And now we have a couple $100 to use towards trading instead of just 100. So it's very advantageous moment here to be a part of this. So that's in the video description below and our pinned comments. That's on HOTCOIN. And you can also join on BITUNIX, but you won't be able to copy trade. They have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees, hands down, in the USA. And that's also in the video description below and or pinned comments. But it's a unified effort, as you can see in the description now. You know, take advantage of the new frontier, basically, with HOTCOIN and BITUNIX, your choice. No VPN or KYC on either of them unless you're sending from a bank account or receiving. And it's worldwide. Jeremy, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Holy crap, I was not expecting someone to pay it forward with the market dropping like this. Thank you for that generosity, and you're welcome for the hard work. I truly am very dedicated, and I try my best to be here when most people would kind of shy away. So, Marvin, welcome in. I appreciate you tuning in. Kryptonian says, I got my first Ethereum at 2008.22. Done. That's excellent because it is getting into a rather oversold area here, but we'll monitor this a little bit further as we go. Jeremy also said, thank you for all the hard work. Hit that like button. Yes, please hit that like button, as it's very, very important to get the viewing audience to expand. And even ones who don't know that I'm live right now that are part of the community, if you hit that like button, it does get put on the YouTube news feed, and then we can find new members and old members. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome in the new members and the old members that have found their way back to the community. Both groups, so important to me and so integral for what we do. The old members have helped me create an identity of positivity over negativity, push what I believe that I wanted within a community. We embrace each other. We don't play the victim, we play the winner. We're helpful, not hurtful. The newer members can help us push this identity, but you can also help us maybe see something we've missed in the past. Maybe we've become too transparent. Maybe we haven't, you know, seen outside the bubble for a minute because we've been doing this for over 3.5 years. So the new members will definitely allow us to have a different point of view, but you also have to carry the positivity over negativity mindset, or you're not welcome. And we have mods that will take out the negative ones. And by being negative, you can disagree. You can even tell me I'm full of shit if you think it's going to do other than I say. Just don't be negative to the people in the comments. Direct that towards me. So I like to have a positive community. So anyhow, JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I told you so badge. Railing Speed says, I'm starting to think XRP is dead. That's not dead. It's just we were unable to break the 2018 resistance, and we can continue to straddle along until the end of 2024. And now the next support structure is down at 40.8 cents. So it's not dead. It gives moment of opportunities, but it's certainly not where we would like it. You know, some want it to go lower. But as we can see now in the 2 hourly, we're massively getting into that oversold. Hourly, we're hitting really oversold here. 45, we're getting way up there. 30-minute, it's starting to try to have a minor reversal, but if you're asking me, I believe if you're looking at this, are we going to have a quick reversal back up here and retake 53.8 cents? Or do we continue to start to trend towards that 50 cent and 48 cent area to see exactly what kind of footing we have? To me, it seemed very dangerous this morning at 53 cents when it got that rejection and ended up coming below that 53.3 roughly. And I don't sugarcoat it. I got some commenters in the video this morning that said, you're being, this sounds kind of negative in the title, and, I don't think it's necessary. I think you're wrong. I'm like, I disagree. I'm not being negative. But all I was stating is the fact that if we do lose 53.8 cents and get rejected, you could open up the door for a better than 28% drop. I mean, that's just me being real. And it could go all the way to 34. So we don't want to lose this. But we do have a stopgap measure at 48 and 50. There's another area just shy of 53 around 42.4. But all of this, I understand it could sound like a negative overtone. But I'm not being negative, nor am I being positive when it rallies. I'm just giving you an emotionless standpoint of what can happen. And being below 53.8 cents is brutal. It's brutal. So, better dig out the dry powder, boys. Getting interesting. It sure is, Wales, Josie Wales. And thank you for continuing in Tom's Army for better than 6 months. Plus with the XRP predictor. Facts sound negative to some people, unfortunately. Diamus, you know what? That is absolutely correct. And I have to remember to remind myself that. More than just from time to time. I need to remember that facts do sound like negativity to the ones, especially if it's going against what you want it to do. And that doesn't just matter for crypto, that matters in the everyday life. And on this Sunday morning, or Sunday afternoon, don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Be loving, push the message, the word, however you believe it. But that power of positivity and the belief in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and remaining humble, we can unify through love and not division. We can unify through love and stop the division through hate. By showing the light within you, you extinguish the darkness. You also bring the light to darkness so that the light can be shined even brighter. See, when you have darkness in a room and you bring light into it, you always crowd out the darkness. Love always beats hate. Because within love, there's that unity. And when you become unified, you have the power of connectivity, the power of positivity as well. But that love brings people together. You gravitate towards the love. So when you see somebody loving and also somebody hating in the room, the ones that have the love in their heart gravitate towards the light. The dark gets pushed out eventually. Because the ones who have the love in their heart, they ignore the hate. See, that's how it works. So we need to be loving. And that's what I try to build in this community. Because when we become divisive, we miss out on a lot of opportunity. So right now, we're looking at the... I'm all about the love without the confines of religion. Your mom, you don't have to have the confines of religion. That's my personal how I express myself. So you're not right or wrong whether or not you want to express religion. That's your personal belief. But as such, my community, I talk in the way I do. So this is the way I speak in my everyday life. So whether you embrace religion or not, you're still going to have to hear about it for a split 12 seconds. When I say don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But thank you for your perspective. So 53.8 cents is that resistance area. 53.8 cents is that resistance area. But by no means am I pushing my religion on anybody. I don't believe doing that. It's the power of preach. So 53.8 cents. You've got that resistance. We've got the Batman top fully intact right now. And the fact that it pulled below 53.8, and thank you, your mom, I appreciate you understanding. That double top that's been created here, and the fact that we came below here, a rejection here validates that M-topping reversal, the Batman top, whatever you want to call it. If we get one, we're literally one rejection away from an implosion. And we've already imploded a lot here. But if you look at it from the fact we came up from 38, went up to 65.7. Now we've had about a 20% correction. So we're fully in corrective territory and then some. But this is what you would expect. especially if you want further continuation. You need to sell off the weak hands, but you also need to lower the liquidity pool and lower the strength in the relative strength index, because a lot of technical traders rely on that. You push it just fine with me. God bless. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. But yeah, that's where we're sitting right now. I think this is a firm look. I think this is a very good breakdown here. We've got underneath, especially that rising channel resistance that tells us we are bearish in the onset. But just because it's bearish, now remember, a lot of this will end up being a lagging indicator if we reverse. Right? These will be lagging indicators. Getting out in front of it like we did is important. When you get out in front of it, then you can set yourself up for the next move. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. Look at the 4 hourly. Death cross is almost confirmed here. 20 crossing the 200 is pending. 3 hourly's already happened. Pending crossing the 50 to the 200, which is a more confluent. Yesterday, I received a lot of heat. And believe it or not, I received heat in the comments because I talked about the 2 hour time frame death cross. And a lot of people were pissed because I said the 2 hour nobody uses. More than 3 people messaged that same thing, which I was surprised. That not a lot of people use the 2 hourly, and you should look closer to the 3, 4, daily, weekly, and then the 1, 3, 5, and 30. I disagree. I wouldn't use anything under the 30 minute. Even under the 2 hourly, the 30 minute especially and lower, I don't even use unless I'm buying or selling at a moment so that I can get the best opportunity on a buy. The 2 hourly is one of the most important time frames. I disagree with everybody who says it's not, because it shows you you're early with conviction, with enough time passed, your short-term trend reversal or continuation. And as we've seen that short-term 2 hourly, by knowing the death cross and seeing it happening, we got on top of it. And even though it did make one final push up here to 59 or 60 cents as it came down, that push up everybody could have seen at 58 cents was nothing. The death cross would have had to be invalidated, and the only way to do that was to break above 58.3 and hold it. Hasn't happened. So now we go from the 2 hourly, and it gives us a guiding stone. 3 hourly takes the same shape, and now it pushes us into the 4 hourly, but we're well ahead of it because we've seen the short-term reversal. So I like using time frames that many think are bullshit. Just like the focus says, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. I like using time frames that make sense. So the 30 minute, unless I'm buying a position, 30 minute and down is useless. Yes, it can tell you the short-term reversal, but until the 2 hour tells me something confluently, I don't even need to look at the rest unless I'm buying or selling at a moment. You know, in a moment. The 2 hourly to me is the most confluent. It helps you bring into the 4 hourly, and now look what happened. Even though the 4 hourly didn't look as bad, the death cross hadn't happened, the 2 hourly front ran it. You got a rejection there, and it told you we're coming down. Until this becomes invalidated in the 2 hourly, we're in some trouble here. And now you can start looking at the 4 hourly. So now you can even forget the 2 hourly. So now the 4 hourly is showing you that death cross imminently. And the only way to invalidate that now is to come up to 56.3. Right now, though, we're at 52.5. So we've come down some way, and the 2 hourly spoke to us. It told us you have a death cross. I understand I'm only the 2 hourly. Hell, I'm not even the 4 hourly or the daily, but you better respect me because I'm telling you the short-term reversal here that everybody is going to hate in about a day. And now we're a day later and everybody hates it. So that first initiation of the bearish cross up here, that first signal that this was breaking down, it was at 60.3 cents, that bearish cross in the 2 hourly. That was the first sign that you were in trouble and that you could have sold initially when that bearish cross happened. And you could have just said, I'm not going to buy back until we invalidate that cross, which a lot of people do that. Now, when we came back below 58.1, the 2018 resistance, that was a lot of problems. Then we had to come up to invalidate the drop that could have been further to 53.8. We unfortunately could not, or fortunately, depending on how you look. Now we have to hold 53.8 to invalidate a further drop. And the next levels will be 50 and 48. It's not just 40.8 or 42.4. There's a few stop gaps in between. But if you look at the generality of the actual chart, there ain't nothing in between now. That 53.8 is a stopgap measure. You got to get back above that in short order, and it doesn't mean we can't. Now we are oversold pretty nicely in the 2, 3, 4 hourly. Daily's catching up a little bit, but it's still got a lot of room to break down here. It's got a lot of room if it doesn't invalidate this, and I mean in a hurry. Syrian, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News emoji badge. Greatly appreciate that continued dedication. The only thing that makes me happier than seeing somebody join Tom's Army is seeing the person continue in Tom's Army for another month. It really, really, really does make me happy. As we can see, Ethereum's about to hit our target at 2,800, which we talked about yesterday. Very transparent. And we actually made a beautiful trade in Ethereum, a leverage trade going long, a very quick opportunity. We mastered it. I think it was 2,882. Sold at 2,929 or 27. I don't remember what it gave us when I hit the sale. And it was just a quick opportunity, and I spoke about it in the live, and I said exactly what I was going to do, exactly where I was going to sell, and exactly where I would attempt to buy back if 2,800 looks solid. Oh, it actually hit 2,800. Now look at that. We actually came below the 2,800 that I was talking about even this morning, and now we hit 2786. 2786. We're at 2794. This is what I wanted to see. This free fall could be the last measure for Ethereum on a drop. 4 hourly is massively oversold. 3 hourly is massively. 2 hourly is massively. 1 hourly is massively. 30 minute is massively. 15 minute is massively. So what I'm going to do to show everybody, I'm going to do a $100 copy trade here, just a 10x. If we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. And if I decide to build into it deeper, I will. But right now, I'm going to do a copy trade because I said once I got to these levels, that was my next target. Right now, we're up $123.78. And if you're part of the $100 challenge, obviously that means we're up about 123.7% cumulatively. We had up to 44 people following. All but 5 have left because I had to suspend it for a few weeks until I figured out the liquidity pools better, because we got into a bit of trouble losing $40 in a solo trade because of the liquidity issues. But we hammered it when we came back with a better than $108 trade. So I'm very happy about that. So we're going to initiate a trade. And if we lose, we lose. I'm not even too worried about it. I'm going to build into this position. We're up to $343 in trading funds. So $105.55. Wait a minute. What the hell? Let's go. Let's do this as a limit order. So we're at two. Holy shit. Did we really drop to 2,737 just now? My God. Beautiful. Look at that, everybody. Look at that drop. That is what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. Now look at how massively oversold. Oh, baby. This is what I was waiting for. Capitulation. Now we could get in trouble here because I am going to take a position out. But this is absolutely what I was waiting for. And now I might have to buy it on the way down. So let's go to a market because it's going to be very hard. I can't fucking see. It's going to be very hard to fill this if it's not a market. Come on. I need these comments. Sorry to get out of the way. 50% would be 165. We'll do 30% here. Buy along. We did a market order. Did it open? What happened? Hey, it's not working. Did you guys see that? It didn't place the order. What is going on? Futures. There's a lot of volatility is what's going on. I can tell you that right now. Oh, what the hell? Wait a minute. Why don't I have any... What is going on? It opened $96, but... Oh, okay. So it was a little... we had a little bit of a freeze there. So right now it's open for... Let's do another 7%. Because it's frozen a little bit. This is weird. I might have bought it a couple more times than I wanted to here now. We seem to have a lot of volatility here. So it didn't even, I don't even know if it opened where I wanted. See, this is bad. This isn't what I wanted. Oh, I guess that we can do it there. We can just open it a little bit more farther down. But it is definitely having a lot of... there's got to be a lot of volatility here right now. So I'm going to watch that. And then I'm going to open another one if it comes down to like 2,700, I think. So one right there. I think another one at 2,700 if it comes down farther. Massive liquidity issues, as you can see. We had a massive drop. So this is what I've been talking about. I was talking about a big drop like this. Ethereum just happens to be much more oversold. But as you can see, even if you want to buy, you see how what can happen with the exchange. When it's a quick, that's what you call capitulation there on Ethereum. It went 2,800, 2,717 basically in a second. In a second. And look, now we don't know where it's going to end. We could even come down farther. I could get liquidated here. You don't know. So now I watch it to see if there's another. So $96 is in. And we'll start monitoring this. So if it comes down to like 2,700, I might put a little bit more. I really wanted it to be an extra like 10 bucks in here. But for some reason, I can't seem to get it to push that extra little bit in. So let's switch it to a limit. Do an extra $13, 2,743. We'll switch this to 2,747 point. Buy long. Let's see if we get there in time. Nope, see, it's running away from me. We'll just put it in right here. 2,740. Yeah, see, I can't even get it. Oh, get it. Okay. It actually worked out in my favor there if it went through. Yes, 109. So it actually went in my favor on that one because we got that one a little bit cheaper. So I got $109.86. And we'll see what happens. I'm not even going to pay attention to it. If it goes down, if I notice it at 2,700, I'll probably buy another 20 bucks worth. So if anybody's copy trading me, we have an open trade. Right now, we're up about 128% on our $100 challenge. So, you know, these are the moments I look for. And whether they pan off or not, I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a rocket scientist, and I'm also not a magician. So, you know, or a wizard, as some call me. I just make educated and informed opportunity decisions. And that's all I do. I don't trade the market unless it gives me a reason. You understand what I'm saying? Did I come in here saying we're going to open up a copy trade? Nope. But did I expect the market to go from 2,800 to 2,700 and or 2,683 in that quick of a drop? Not necessarily. But when opportunity is presented, you know, you got to take this chance when you have those wicks. So now it's what I need to do now is I need to watch this to see if we get a quick rebound, or if we end up breaking down farther and I can buy in at like 2,700, but we are massively oversold with that drop. There's no rhyme or reason, folks. You smell that? When everybody's afraid to throw money around, that's when I get excited. You see what else makes me excited? Greed and fear index. And the fact that my account's built up to almost $1,400. See what I'm doing here? I took $109 out of my $1,400 account, basically, on HOTCOIN. We started with $100 trades. We're up 128%. We've had even 40% drops. Or $40 drops, but we had a $108 gain on one. We've had big gains, middle of the road. So the greed and fear index, watch this. 34. Last week it was at 71 greed. Last month we got as low as 29 fear because it does it by the date. And right now we're at 34 fear. And this updates in 6 hours. It's going to be even lower now after that drop probably. The fear is getting out of control. No, not necessarily. You won't necessarily just make money on a short. Had you have opened up that short yesterday in the wrong spot, you'd have got clobbered. You'd have got clobbered. Because I had a long yesterday at 10x and I did fucking fantastic. And it was only in that one moment of opportunity. And then once it closed, you see the resulting damage. So, yes, it's easy to say just open a short, but you got to find the right spot. People got wrecked. Our community is looking pretty good. You know, it's just, that's the way it goes. Where's the bounce going to be? That's the question. How high do we bounce here? Because we had that big drop. And we are pretty oversold. Could we come down here again at 2,688? Likely. But we're going to have some, with how oversold we are, would be surprised if we don't come up and retest somewhere up a little higher. But just because I expect it, by no means doesn't mean it's going to happen in short order. We could come right back down to where we dropped, so I'm going to pay attention to see if there's a possibility to open up a little deeper position here. I actually didn't expect it to bounce right when I bought it. I thought it was going to come right back down to like 2720, 2700. That's why I was trying to set up a little positioning. But whatever, we'll let it do what it needs to do. Got 109 people watching, so that's beautiful. Make sure to hit that like button. As more than 40% of the audience still has not hit the like button. And if you're looking to copy trade me, and it's very volatile, so expect to lose money. It's in the video description below and our pinned comments. You can copy trade me on HOTCOIN. And for right now, and our trade right now, who knows how it's going to react. But right now, if you're just interested to know the stats, so you're like, I don't know if I should trust this guy. We are running very interesting right now. There must be a lot of activity going on right now on here. A lot. Because it's not showing the copy trading. It's showing the actual charts, but the copy trading is just not. Interesting. We have so much liquidity going on and so many people trying to flood in that the exchanges are doing what we expect at these moments. They're very volatile. Now, do we get a further drop? That is the suspenseful question. That is a suspenseful question. So we're going to do some reading here as we watch this play out. I was just trying to see, because you can, I don't know why it says down when I was up, but for whatever reason it does. But I can tell you I'm not down $343, as you'll be able to see. In the futures, it's counting me minus my futures money right now. I have $342 in futures. And I also have 1,018 in spot. So I don't know why. I told you there's some issues with the system, but we're not down right now. I was looking, I'm like, what did we do? Drop off the map? I don't even have $300 open that could possibly be lost. Right now, though, the following, assuming it wants to show it, because right now it's not even showing this. So if you're trying to follow, maybe it's blocking this. Oh, right here. We're up $123.78. $123.78. We started with the $100 challenge, so you do the math. That's up 123%. So yeah, let's watch the market shake out for a minute, and let's talk about this. XRP reaches now or never moment. Bollinger Band signal. So price of XRP just reached critical point, with Bollinger Band suggesting major change could be coming. The popular cryptocurrency XRP is currently at a crossroads. In terms of its price trajectory as shown by the Bollinger Bands, a widely used technical indicator developed by John Bollinger, with XRP currently trading at 54. Now we've fallen below this. George, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. It has broken through the lower boundary of the dynamic price range as defined by the indicator. Bollinger Bands are made up of a middle line, which is usually a moving average, and two bands that sit at a certain number of standard deviations above and below this line. When the price of an asset moves outside the bands, excuse me, it can be seen as a sign that the current trend might be continuing, or reversal is somewhere very near. When the price breaks below the lower band, as XRP did, it means that the asset is oversold and traders are likely to look for a rebound or further declines. As such, XRP price action at the moment is indicative of extremely bearish sentiment among traders toward one of the market's largest assets. The last time something like this happened was early July, when XRP fell 11% intraday, only to bounce back between bands. On the weekly chart, however, XRP is still within the range and is about to retest the midline. So if we try to outline scenarios based on the chart, we have the next picture. If XRP fails to hold 53 cents, it could fall further to around 42 cents if 53 cents is held and maintained. Then the bias is to 64 cents. Excuse me. So that's what we're looking at there. We've got no real movement here. We had a quick drop down, and now we're kind of fluctuating between a range. So who knows? We've got XRP now stuck around 52.20. XRP made a quick drop down to about, 51.8 is a nice support structure. Does anybody remember the 51.7 support or 51.8 on the way up? That's actually a brilliant hit. I forgot about the 518 in between 50 cents. The market did us some justice here. It allowed me to remember. 51.8. Sean, one last drop. If we get one last drop, it's possible. Now, what we're doing, though, is we're going to need to clear out a little bit, which we're trying to do right now. It would be advantageous for us to move up here, and probably in the 3-minute for XRP. Ooh. The 3 minutes all the way up at 539. Yeah, this gap's opening up too wide. We have a gap here, a fair value gap up to 54 cents right now. And if you don't know what an FVG is, a fair value gap, that's when you haven't back tested a drop or a rise up, and it opens a gap. It leaves a gap, and the trading bots usually come back and hit that gap. So I'm expecting at some point that gap to be filled around 54 cents. That's a big gap. That's a big gap on that drop right now. That needs to be filled. So that's a possibility of a gap filled. Let's see for Ethereum where a gap would be filled. We haven't filled this gap. Well, I'll be damned. Ethereum has a gap at 2,850. Oh, no. Yeah. It does. We'll lower it a little bit just so it's a little lower. But 2,800, we've got a gap there. We've got a fair value gap just from the untrained eye, or to the trained eye. I can see a gap there that we will likely, even if we go lower, we'll have to retest 2,850 probably. Very interesting. Let's just say we're at 2,747. That's 3.7%. At the very least, man, we kept this. That drop was so volatile that we could have just as volatile of a recovery to try to retest those areas. Especially if this plays off as a bull flag, which there is no guarantee because I still expect it to come down before it can go back up. I don't know, though. These are hard to tell in the moment. We're going to need further evidence here. But right now we've got this in the 1 minute, so we're looking to break this. See, we've got a pretty definitive area here, actually, in the 1 minute, because we're trying to do this in the fly. So you break down from here. Here, we can micro move it. We can micromanage this real quick. If it comes down from here, ooh, that's right around where I wanted to do that second buy. If it gives us the chance at 2,700. Ooh, it might not give us that chance, though. That's okay. If it doesn't, it's fine. I'll just keep the $109 or whatever, which I feel comfortable with anyhow. Let's get this. And then if we break up, which is what we're looking for, a retest up here, that's about 2,778. So like I said, the only time I like these in the 1 minute or even under the 30 is when you have volatility like this. Or if you're in a moment where you're buying or selling. That's it. So we're trying to find our range. So if we can break up 2,778 as first resistance, if we break down first support as 2,703. Does everybody understand what just happened there? Out of curiosity. And I couldn't do this when we first were looking because it didn't give us any kind of a consolidation. Now it has. It's given us a range. So that's what we're looking at right now. It's either going down to 2,704 or we're gonna test the drop point at 2,779, which it is very advantageous right now for Ethereum to have a retest in the upper levels, but at the same time, it could really send us into an oversold scenario if it drops back down to 2,700 real quick. I'm telling you right now, it could get hot if it drops down there. And remember what I've spoke about often, Ethereum is one only at this time that I started to look at closer, because not only is it entering these weird moments of oversold here, and lightning quick strikes, but with that Ethereum ETF, eventually that money's going to flow in. And I have a feeling the fact that on Friday, or at least we'll go over it, but we had a day here recently that the outflows from the Bitcoin ETF, which is the exchange traded fund, was the highest in 90 days. So in 3 months. So I have a strange suspicion that some of that money is going to flow into Ethereum eventually here. Ethereum's doing exactly what Bitcoin did when the ETF went online. Initially collapses, and then what did Bitcoin do? It went to all-time highs. So now we've put in what could be a bear flag, bull flag situation. Remember these nasty situations where we come down so fast and pull up so evenly that now instead of having a bear flag, it might have put this sneaky bull flag that now before we can break down farther, we have to confirm a rejection, which in this case would be 2,779. It's the market moves at lightning quick speed. Lightning quick speed. And if you're afraid of putting some capital on the line in crypto, oh, buddy. I can't believe that this isn't worth more than 72 likes. So I guess for some reason it's not hitting the mark with likes, but if you want this content to get out there, ETFs for Ethereum is a second layer of manipulation. It's not Bitcoin. I disagree. I think it's the same area of manipulation, just like Bitcoin, to bring money into the exchange or into the asset, but through a different way. Remember, when BlackRock's attached to something, they can make money on it. It's advantageous for them to get the community to pour in their money before they milk it. They haven't been able to milk anything out of the ETFs because there ain't no money going in because it's crashing. Wait till there's an opportunity. I'm telling you, you're going to get a day with Ethereum. It's going to go up 15 to 25%. It's going to be driven by ETF funds. And then it's going to have an equal day where it drops 30%. And it's going to be rallied on the fact that a bunch of people traded out that exact same exchange traded fund. And the difference is when you do it on an ETF, you have to give them real money. When you do it on the exchange, you can just print out Tether. And that's typically what happens. So US spot Bitcoin ETF, but I agree it's a lot different. I don't know when, George, do you trade Ethereum for gas fees? You're not serious right now, are you? There's 0%. Bitcoin absolutely does not have bigger gas fees than Ethereum if you're sending money to people. I 100% guarantee that. There's been many opportunities where I had to choose between Bitcoin and Ethereum before exchanges started to realize XRP, and it's exorbitant. You're talking about $50 to $60 you could get on a $1,000 transfer on Bitcoin, as to where on Ethereum I'm looking at $10. So that is not true. Ethereum has a lower transaction fee. That was one of the caveats to it, to use it over Bitcoin early on. Who's telling you it has a higher fee? Can anybody else comment on that? For anybody who trades crypto, what has a higher gas fee, Bitcoin or Ethereum? I'd love to know the audience take. And I know I never talk Ethereum, but maybe I need to start. US spot Bitcoin ETF see biggest single day outflow in 90 days. Oh yeah, compared to XRP, they're brutal. I would never use them if I didn't have to. XRP is a fraction of a penny. US spot Bitcoin ETF logged a daily net outflow of 237 million on Friday, the highest single day outflow level since May 1st and the fourth highest since the launch of the ETFs in January. Spot Ether ETFs also saw outflows, though that total outflow level was generally smaller than in recent days. They always change. Absolutely, the gas fees change based on the traffic. Lower traffic, you're going to get a lot higher gas fees. Or if they need to break blocks, the higher traffic, you're going to get more fees. Depends what you're using. If you have to break blocks or not. So it depends if you're centralized or decentralized. But yeah, it does vary. It does vary. The 12 spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds in the US logged their biggest single day outflow on Friday, August 2nd since May 1st, over 90 days ago, and over 60 trading days. The total daily outflow level on August 2nd was 237.45 million, the highest since May 1st, 563.77 million outflows, and the fourth highest single day outflow since the launch of the spot Bitcoin ETFs in January, according to Value Data. Grayscale has recently launched Bitcoin Mini Trust, And if Ethereum is now more expensive than Bitcoin, I would love to know, because I haven't used either of them in a very long time. I've been using XRP, which most of you do in the community, and I don't even have to pay a penny. So, but I don't know. If Ethereum has flipped Bitcoin, that would be news to me, and I would love to know if that's true. In the sense of fees for sending money. If that's the case, Ethereum's outweighed itself now, and it has no use at all. I already doesn't have any use to me. Netting a modest 9.88 million in additional funds, BlackRock's IBIT, the other ETF on the positive side, saw inflows of nearly 43 million. However, these inflows were offset by over 100 million in outflows from Fidelity, FBTC, about 81 million from ARK Invest, and 21 shares. ARK being sub 50 million outflows from Grayscale's GBTC, Bitwise's BitB, and VanEck's HODL. The remaining 5 funds logged no change. Though the single-day outflow figure was large, the total volume traded was hardly out of the ordinary, and the total net asset value of all the ETFs combined still remains near historic highs. Though Bitcoin's price has continued to slide towards the 60,000 mark, and now it's around 58, last I seen. While the 9-spot Ether ETFs currently on the U.S. market logged a 54 million outflow on Friday, that sum is actually the smallest single-day outflow level seen during the short time these funds have been on the market thus far, according to Social Value data. However, the total net assets held in the funds is currently at its all-time lowest level at 8.33 billion, a significant decrease from the maximum of 10.24 billion achieved on the first day of trading. The bulk of the outflow, 61 million, came from Grayscale's ETHE, which also brags the highest net asset value across the spot Ethereum ETFs at 6 billion. The total volume traded across the Ether ETFs was also the second lowest yet recorded on Friday, at 438 million, a far cry from 2.34 billion traded on Bitcoin ETF side. So that's the nuts and bolts in the ETF trading right now. Right now we are at 2,726 for Ethereum. Bitcoin is at 58,184. XRP is at 52.3 cents. So we're still within a similar trading pattern. Let's see where we're at in that little pattern we set up here. So 2,704 if it continues this. But now we would be able to fill out the pattern farther. Let's say it reverses back up. This was the short term. So now we're starting to get some legs here. We're starting to get some legs a little bit. So now, whoops, let's get rid of this so we can see a little bit better. Now we'll see, maybe this is how it was meant to be, and we just don't know yet because we don't have all the evidence. So we won't know. But now we have that support of the first. So now it's basically a guessing game right now until it starts breaking a little bit one way or the other. So we know our downtrending resistance right now. That's the important part. And then how we can move up. But now that we've started to push down here, you'll start to see this. That'll bring our targets a little bit lower as we come back across. So now it's about 2,765. Although the pattern's going to widen here as well. So this is going to get interesting here. I'm excited now. Now we're getting some volatility. This is when you can make moves. Oh, man, I'm going to have to go soon, though. It's 1:37 already. It's already been almost an hour. Is everybody excited, though, that we're getting some volatility and we're finally going to be able to see one way or the other what the market has in store for us? It's what I personally like to see. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, Rick. And yes. See, some people aren't afraid. You gotta embrace the volatility. XRP came down to 29 billion. What is this in the 3-minute? Ooh. Hey, in the 3-minute, if you want to have a little hope for XRP here in the 3-minute, look what's trying to form. And it doesn't mean it has to play true, because it could very easily break down. But in the very short term for XRP, it's trying to put in a very short corrective, inverse head and shoulders, and very simply would just bring you up here. And it would bring you from here to 29.659 billion. We'll see. That would be interesting. Is everything else creating that, or am I just crazy? Is that what was happening? I got to go to Bitcoin too. That's XRP setup. See, everything's set up different. No, Ethereum set up a little bit differently. Now I'm even more interested. God, it gets boring sometimes in crypto, but now we're not bored. Now we're not bored. We are certainly not bored. If you're bored now, you don't understand what's going on. Ooh, baby. Look at that. We're developing a range now. We're starting to develop a range right here. 2709. $27.09. Nope, it's up here right now, though, on this candle. Let's just put it here. So our range is 2709 to 2734 on Ethereum. XRP right now, we have a range. Interesting. Oh, I love it. We're starting to develop something here. Look at this. Look at this. We're doing one of two things here. We're expanding out on each successive hit of consolidation and resistance, or support and resistance. We're branching deeper. Or we're putting in now a descending style structure, which it's very early to be able to tell that. But that's what's happening. If it breaks out of this little consolidation, it's going to come up here likely and retest. Yeah, see? This is going to get interesting here very quickly. You're going to have to keep up with this. It's going to get very interesting here, and it's going to go lightning quick. Just like it already has. So, make sure you observe, pay attention very closely. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Embrace the volatility, because we are awfully volatile right now, and we're getting into an expandable moment, and I'm pretty excited here. So one way or the other, by virtue or by death, we're gonna figure it out. No way, man. $2.86 by 9:59 tonight. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that just be something? Could you imagine? I log off at 52 cents and I come back on tonight and I'm like, oh my God, we're up to $2.59. It's been unbelievable. But anyhow, have a blessed evening, everybody. It's been an honor and a privilege.